See, here we are at the start of this video, and I hate to say I told you so, but I don't, because I love to say I told you so, because I'm always right, because it's what I do, and you know how I roll. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy here, Q, the one and only from Retro Q Gaming, and well, we're gonna talk about some stuff that happened today. That is, logic. I told you so, and well, we'll just go with I told you so yet again. So, what are we talking about anyway? Well, today, here we are, the 9th of June 2022. Mr. Doritos Gate, Jeff Shilly himself, had his little summer shill games shill fest. We're going to throw lots of shills in there too and all, and why not? Because, you know, that's just what he does. But anyway, during this announcement, during this event, whatever you want to call it, we had the announcement of The Last of Us Part 1 Remake. Now, this is a full, from the ground up remake, not just a standard remaster coming from the PlayStation 4, like the PlayStation 4 version was the remaster of the PS3 version. This, of course, leaked online about 2 or 3 hours prior to the show, but that's all kind of irrelevant for what we're going at here. So, the key important thing about this is, one, I am very, very happy about this. Simply because there's two reasons I am very, very, very happy about this. One, as everyone knows, any of you long-time viewers, any of you long-time listeners, whatever it is, you know that one of my favorite games of the last, hell, we'll call it 2 generations at this point, is The Last of Us. The first game, of course. Only the first game. There should really only be the first game, but it's one of my favorite games from, well, it's probably like arguably one of my favorite Sony games. Let's go with that, shall we? It's one of my favorite Sony games, at least, of the last couple of, last what, 3 generations, 2.5 at this point, because we're really only at the start of the current one. But that's all beside the point. And I've always said, as I'm sure you remember, one of the 2 games that I care about, Sony porting to PC. Because we know they're porting a large slate of all their games and whatnot, as they've said, as they've demonstrated, and as they've continued to do so. But one of the 2 games I've always said I wanted was The Last of Us Remastered. And the other one was, by the way, Shadow of the Colossus Remake. But this new Last of Us Part 1 Remake, which, by the way, is coming to PlayStation 5 on September 2nd, 2022, it's also been already announced that it is in development for a PC port at a later stage. Now, chances are this is probably only going to be a couple of months. Let's just say 6 months, just for the argument's sake of it. Because, I mean, it's coming out in September on, what is it? It's coming out in September on PS5. And when you take about 6 months into consideration, you're getting close to the whole financial year thing. You might remember one of the last videos I mentioned where Sony, I expanded on how Sony planned on making 300 million in the, or 300 million total, which I think added to something like 210 million, 215 million, something like that, in the next financial year, or by the end of the next financial year. And we always wondered how that was going to happen. Now, since that, we have the possible, eventual, maybe, leak of Returnal coming to PC, Sackboy, we have the new confirmed, announced, and soon to be released Spider-Man, and of course, shortly after that, we have Miles Morales, which is going to be in autumn of 2022. And of course, we're still in the process of waiting on Uncharted. You know, I should probably get the name of that one correctly. Is it Legacy of Thieves? Legend of Thieves? Thieves Legacy? Legacy Collection? I don't know, whatever it is, but you know the one I'm talking about. It's already been announced, it's in the process, we're still waiting on it. And now we have this. I've always said, as everyone knows, I have considered there to be 4 major Sony current franchises, all 4 of which I expected to never see on PC. I thought we would get like their second tier and below stuff. And these 4 franchises: God of War, released on PC earlier this year. Uncharted, on its way. Already announced, but on its way. That's 2 of them. Spider-Man was one of the others. What's coming out in August? I believe it's August 12th. Spider-Man. And the only remaining one that I thought we may never get, originally I thought we may never get, but then when I started seeing not just 1, but 2 of these franchises coming, and then eventually the 3rd, well, we knew it was coming. The Last of Us. So, yes. Now, this makes perfect sense in a way. First off, they're most likely going to charge full price for it. I'm talking like €70, $70, or whatever. It's so weird because people say like $70 and it's not really $70 because they have to pay tax or whatever it is. Americans are weird. Your country is insane. But it's probably going to be a €70 game on PC, which is oof, to say the least, because there's only like two or three of those at the moment. But that's kind of beside the point. But you look at all of this, you look at the big stuff that's happening in such a short period of time, and we haven't even touched on the other part of this video, but you get the idea. Between Spider-Man, God of War, The Last of Us, Uncharted, whatever else is coming. But you know, why is this such a big deal? And why am I so happy about this? Well, we already talked about many of the reasons why I'm happy about this. Because I like the game. I can't wait to play it in its best form. Not only just because it's going to be remade, but because it's going to be on PC, the best platform, which can offer the best experience. But how am I extra happy about this? Well, I predicted this. I predicted this to an extent. We'll go with I predicted this. Off the top of my head, I looked at it earlier. I should have looked at it again right now, but I just didn't. I believe March 21st, 2021. Little over a year ago. You might remember I made a video because Naughty Dog were recruiting new talent for their studio. Specifically, they were looking for talent with NVIDIA GeForce GPU experience and Windows/DirectX experience. These two things would be 100% useless and irrelevant if they were still only focusing on just bringing their games to consoles. Because the PlayStation 4 at the time and the PlayStation 5 don't use DirectX. The PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 also don't use NVIDIA hardware. So it would be 100% worthless. Unless they were going to release something on the Windows/DirectX platform and needed to optimize it for NVIDIA hardware as well. And of course, what did I say back then? That video is something like, is The Last of Us Part 1, is The Last of Us 1 and Part 2, or Last of Us 1 and 2 coming to PC? And fast forward about a little over a year, almost kind of in around the same time. I believe this has been in development for about 2 years. So, yeah, that kind of lines up, doesn't it? And once again, I just use facts. I just use logic. I just use common sense. They say the whole thing with rose-tinted glasses. I don't have green glasses. I don't have blue glasses. I just use common sense, facts, and logic. And thanks to that, I'm always right.